Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we are at Varkala. So the last episode I showed you we traveled from Bangalore to Varkala, and today we're going to stay at Varkala and do a lot of sightseeing. Half the day is already gone because we had to freshen up and have our breakfast. We only have the second half where we will do sightseeing and we'll show you which locations were really good and you can also visit. The best part is once I reached, I asked the owner if I could fly my drone, and they said that yeah, many people come here and fly the drone, so there was no objection and I got to fly my drone. So here are the shots of how the cliff looks like. Most of your resorts are on the cliff, so from the left to the right there are a lot of resorts you can book, and at the dead end you will find the north cliff where you have the flea market and a lot of small cafes. That will also be shown in this video. Once it comes, I will point it out. This particular resort that you are seeing, which is in triangular shape, this has the beach opening, so if you stay in that resort then you can easily access the beach. The left hand side which you are seeing, the orange one, that is where we stayed, and if you notice that the cliff is there, so we can't get down there easily, so you have to come to the right hand side to actually get down to the beach. In Kerala you have a lot of rain, so that's the reason everywhere it is lush green. There's a lot of coconut trees all around and there is barely any barren patch that you will see. It's either the sea on the right hand side or the left side is fully green. The dead end that you see here, that is where the north cliff is, where you have all your cafes, restaurant, and the vibe is really good at night. We will be showcasing that at the end, so stay tuned to see how good that location is. This is the north cliff, so here I have used the 3x zoom mode to get closer and show you that part. At night this looks really good, so we will show you night footage also of the resort at the end. So this is the top view of our resort, and the colors, the red color and the green color gives it a very nice look, and even from the ground level also it had a very tranquil feel, which we saw in the last video. While we waited for our lunch to come, my wife was having a green tea and I thought I'll just have plain water because that was good after travel. It was raining a bit in the middle, so we were again curious whether when we start our sightseeing it should not rain heavily, and the tides were also a little high, so we had no intention to go to the beach. Probably the next day we can try, but there was no intention to go to the beach. While we were waiting for our lunch to come, I thought let me get some quick shots because you never know when it would again start pouring. So it was a veg day for me, so I had to order something like paneer, but my wife was eating non-veg, so I was a little jealous about it. But then again, another day will come where she will be eating veg and I will be eating non-veg. It started pouring again and we were worried, but a thing I noticed is it was raining more towards the beach side rather than towards the city side. My prediction was kind of correct, and once we entered the city there was no rain. All the sightseeing locations were close by, so that was a good thing. The first place where we decided to go is Anjengo Fort, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So it was like 30 minutes from the location, and it was built in 1695 by the British East India Company and was closer to Anjengo Fort river, right? River. That's the reason the name became Anjengo Fort or Anjengo Fort. It's complicated to pronounce. So finally we arrived at the location and I was searching for parking. The parking was just left to me, but then again I went ahead and came back again. The roads were really narrow, so it was difficult to turn around and come back. But then again we found the parking and came back to the location. The guard was saying cameras are not allowed, but then again I convinced him and he allowed the Pocket 3 at least to shoot. It's not a very big fort. It's a very small fort. You can come and visit. It's okay to visit or you can skip as well, but because it is close by to the resort, so there is no harm coming and visiting here. But don't expect it to be a very big fort. It's just a very small fort that is there. The black and white pillar like thing is the lighthouse where you are allowed to go but not in the evening, so they didn't allow to go, so we skipped that part. I was constantly reminding my wife to be careful because this top part was pretty narrow and she was busy clicking photos. So while clicking photos, you should be careful about these areas because it was difficult to walk around if you're not careful. You could see it that it's pretty narrow. As usual, there were more people clicking photos and selfies, so I was finding it difficult to avoid them. But then again, they came in the picture, so which is okay in these crowded places. But at least this was not that crowded compared to other places. And it was raining. I think that's the reason tourists were a little less. I like less crowded places. Good, it was raining, that there were not many people, and the weather was good. From the top you could see the beach, but there were pretty good number of houses in between. I don't know what these houses are. These don't look like resorts, but maybe local people stay there. And the beach was not exactly close to the fort. It was a little far, and between you had houses. So we were looking for good angles to click some photos, so that's the reason you see me going around and finding spots. But then the more far you go inside, it was getting a little dangerous because of the narrow lane, so I decided not to experiment too much and try to get that best angle, but rather go back, right? I think safety is the priority. There you go, got a cinematic angle closer to the walls, which makes the place look amazing versus what it actually is. It's just a normal place. You can visit here, but I think a lot of footages, if they are made in a way which makes it look cinematic, you might feel it is super good, or if a drone shot is taken, you might flatter the whole location, but it's a okay location to visit. So now my wife wanted to click both of our videos together. It is either she was clicking mine or I was clicking hers. So I thought, okay, let me place the Pocket 3 in some place and then I can just act in front of the crowd and show that we are actually doing a lot of sightseeing and amazing locations we are visiting and seeing. So I did this footage just for you guys, but we were actually acting there. Maybe she was trying to click some photos of me. Yeah, I think that's what it looks like. Now she has been trying really hard to convince a photographer that she's clicked some really amazing photos. At least 20-30 photos she would have clicked. And when I scroll through the photos, what I see, that there are only 1 or 2 photos which are good. Rest 28 photos I will not comment here. Now there were 2 shy girls who were thinking, where do we go, left, right, why the camera is pointing at us, because they also wanted to click some photos. That's what happens when you go to sightseeing places. and that's why I usually prefer locations which are offbeat, like peaceful, and there is no crowd. But I'm not complaining, this place was not that crowded, and we had very few people around.
मिनिमम तुमको 3 आवर्स दरकार 2.5 आवर्स 3 आवर्स दरकार अगोड़ा फोर्ट बुलिया पे तमे को भी अगोड़ा फोर्ट तमे गोवा रे किछि भी फोर्ट जाइनो ना दिस इज अगोड़ा फोर्ट देखो.
My wife was talking about Goa and the forts there, that how big the forts were in Goa, and she was trying to compare because it was a small fort here. So after the fort, we decided to go to the North Cliff because that's where all the hustle bustle is, and we wanted to spend some time doing some small shopping around and sit near the beach in a cafe and have some good tea, coffee, and snacks. So that was the most happening location. So we decided to visit there today itself and see what is there. So we've reached the location. It was not that far. As I mentioned that in Varkala the sightseeing locations are not very far, so you can easily hop from one location to another in 20-30 minutes. Good thing was there was parking all around, so no issues with parking the car. And this is how it looks from that location. I showed you the drone footage before, and this is also on the same cliff, and all the small shops, the flea market and everything was on this cliff. As we wait, we will see how the lights turn out to be at night. These flea markets were very similar to what we see in Goa and other beachside locations. But here we found that it was really big. I think the distance this market is there is for almost 2+ kilometers. So I was really shocked that it's such a long stretch of market or cafe on the cliff. So that was different from what we have seen in Goa and other beach locations. At the junction in the middle there were steps to go down, so we wanted to check out what's there because I saw some people wandering around the beach. So we checked these steps which were going down. As it was rainy, it was a little slippery, so we had to be careful. There was a rope tied in the tree that meant that you should ideally not go there because it was getting very steep. So we also decided why to take the risk. So we just took some shots from there and returned back to the top. As it was getting more dark, I could see that the atmosphere is changing. More people were coming in and the cafes were coming alive. So we had to wait for it to go completely dark and then see how this place looks. We were pretty confused seeing so many cafes around that which one to pick because all of them looked very different and unique. But then again, we decided to move forward and see what more is there, and then we would decide which one to select to sit. We also noticed that there were resorts in this cliff itself. I don't know the names, but if you are coming and if you want to stay exactly in this place, then you can look for resorts which are here. So don't even have to travel 30 minutes. You can enjoy this late at night and get the views at night. This view of the cliff was really good because from this location I could see the the beach as well as the cafes on the right side. So this was a good view. I wanted to fly my drone, but I had an instance in the UK where I had lost my drone, the DJI Air 2S, in heavy wind. The winds were almost 90 plus kilometers. So I was a little hesitant to fly, even if I have the Air 3S, which is pretty strong and powerful. But I was a little hesitant, and also because there was a lot of crowd, I did not want to take a chance to fly and then get into problems. So we decided to sit at Abba restaurant because this had a very good view of the beach, and the view was pretty clear from here and no blockage was there. The food was really good. So yeah, we spent some time here to just sit and relax. As usual, it is very difficult to stop girls from buying in flea market and the small places where you get cosmetics and a lot of small things. I don't know what, but they get pretty excited seeing these places to buy some stuff. I let her do that while I enjoyed the views. There were few cafes where there was live music, so that is also something exciting to see at this location. So we spent quite some time there, almost 2 hours, and because we had traveled that particular day, so we were tired, and it was also getting dark. So we decided to return back to our resort and then have our dinner and go to sleep, because then tomorrow again we'll have to wake up early and look for other places to visit. I will not disclose what we visited next. I think you'll need to wait for the upcoming video to see what we visited. But then again, here we are going to our resort, and there I will be also flying my drone to get a night footage, because as I told you in the morning, I knew that the resort is going to look really good at night, so I wanted to fly my drone. So I will try to take off, even if there is a risk at night to lose your drone in the sea. But then again, if you need that best looking footage, you have to risk as always. With so many lights in the garden, the resort was looking totally different, and the sound of the beach and the waves, it was very unique and peaceful. The good thing is that the cafe and the restaurant is on the outside. You also have a place on the right where you can go up and get seated in a closed environment, but you can also get seated in this open area, and we chose to sit in the open area to have our dinner because it felt more closer to nature and the beach. Lights do create magic, and that's what here the scene speaks for itself. The same location, when you see it at day it looks different, but at night it looks totally different. Same with seasons, may it be winter or summer or rainy season, it looks totally different, the same location. So you can visit the same location multiple times because it looks totally different based on the season. So finally that moment came where I can fly my drone and see how it really looks. So let's take off and see the footage. So after a long flight, the drone has come down and the resort guy was asking me if he could get the footage. I decided to give him few clips. Thanks for watching guys and staying back this long. I will upload the next video in next few days. Stay tuned and keep watching.